Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Youth Ledger. I'm Shiven Diwakar, and today I got the chance to speak with Eli Lehrer, the president of R Street Institute. It's a think tank known for pragmatic free market solutions to public policy issues. In this episode, we unpacked topics like federal crop insurance, how it connects to conservation, and what policies Eli believes need to change, and fast. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy. I just wanted to talk to you about a few policy issues and your opinions on them.
Okay.
Add them written down. Mr. Lehrer, you are the president and founder of R Street, a think tank that is focused on free markets and related solutions. So, I believe you founded R Street in 2012. What was your motivation behind it? Just to get some background.
Sure. I'm the co-founder of R
Mm-hmm.
Street again. So R Street started as a spin-off of the Heartland Institute. It was motivated directly by a decision of the president of Heartland to run a billboard with a picture of the Unabomber on it, Ted Kaczynski. If you go on the internet and Google Heartland billboard, you'll see it. The billboard said on it, "I still believe in global warming. Do you?" That was a message that I didn't agree with. That people who believe in climate change are serial killers, in essence. And it was insulting to me, insulting to our supporters, our allies. So the entire Washington, D.C. staff of Heartland resigned.
Okay.
And founded our Street. So that's what motivated the creation. In fact, I should mention, we left on good terms with Heartland, and I still think well of the organization.
Did Heartland not contact anyone at the Washington D.C. before they put it up, or
They did not contact me.
Okay.
I don't, and only a handful of people inside. I headed the DC office.
okay? Well, that was, I don't know who made that decision, but doesn't sound like a great one.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Okay. So I saw that you're quite keen on insurance and catastrophe insurance policy, I believe.
Yeah, I've worked on that myself some.
So how well are current U.S. insurance markets priced? As like climate, especially, provides like increases issues of chances like natural disasters.
So in many cases, insurance rates are kept too low by overregulation. Now, the correlation between climate change and natural disasters is indisputable. It's not nearly as strong, however, as some in the environmental movement want to say it is. There is no doubt that climate change correlates with more natural disasters, but it's rarely the primary cause. In general, the places which are most susceptible to climate change are places that we shouldn't have built in any case. There is plenty of capacity in the insurance market to deal with climate change. This is not some enormous catastrophe the market cannot handle. It's a handleable problem from the standpoint of the insurance market. And it is, and while damages are increasing, deaths are going down, and percentage of GDP is about stable, often going down, loss to disasters. So this is not, so climate change does increase the number of natural disasters. There are lots of things we should do, but it's not the main cause of natural disasters, nor is damage caused mostly by climate change.
Okay. Are there any policies that you think the government should institute that could help with this or
With disaster? There are any number of policies. The Smarter, Safer Coalition, of which R Street is a member, has a bunch of specific policies. But in general, to give some very high level points, states need to allow the market to set insurance rates rather than trying to have politicians do it. The government, builders, insurers, homeowners, everybody needs to invest more in property mitigation. We need to preserve wetlands in coastal areas and build less in areas that are very wildfire prone. We probably need money to do buyouts of sort of properties that are really disaster prone. And we need functioning global reinsurance markets to allow the transfer of whatever risk remains.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. Let's see what else. Federal crop insurance. Some people think it should be linked to conservation standards to incentivize more sustainable practices. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Well, it is linked to conservation compliance for the most part, and you could increase the number of you could increase the number of people. Yes, insofar as we are to have a federal crop insurance program, it should certainly strive for soil conservation. And conservation compliance is far superior to the soil banking programs and stuff that preceded it. Ideally, we probably should not have a federal crop insurance program and probably let the market handle it. But as we do have the program and it's not going anywhere, enhancing the current conservation compliance measures is what we need to do.
Could you expand on that a little bit more? Why do you think that the crop program isn't as great as if the market worked on it?
So the like almost any subsidized insurance program, at least property and casualty insurance program, that's subsidized by the government, it creates moral hazard. It encourages people to plan to do things in places that otherwise wouldn't. It also is not really an insurance program. It also provides insurance against price change, fluctuations in the world markets. So it's not just natural disasters. World market fluctuations are best dealt with by the market itself. It's not really the government's job to assure that given businesses make money when the market turns against them. And the number of farm families currently have incomes that are above average, that are above the U.S. average. A large percentage of land is owned by very big business already. These are entities that don't particularly need help. Might there be a place to provide some assistance to family farmers with low incomes? I think it's a case for doing that. But right now, almost all the money goes to people who are doing just fine.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would have to agree too. The markets usually do a good job. Yeah. What's my next question? So, I was reading through some of your recent op-eds, and you talked about limited effective government. And this reminded me of the efforts that Mr. Musk is currently taking with the Department of Government Efficiency. I just wanted to ask, how would you evaluate Doge's performance?
Well, of course, no longer is doing that quite effectively.
As of yesterday.
A very large number of the agencies that he went into probably needed a significant cleaning out. And in the areas that I have the most information, there probably were people doing more harm than good by being there. That said, a lot of it was done so quickly in such a slapdash way that it's not clear the extent to which it's really going to have an effect or really going to save taxpayer money. Many of the things may backfire. Some procedures intended to save money may cost it. Uh, it's it's not it's not to me the best execution of it. Certainly, there's fat that needs to be caught, but at the end of the day, the areas targeted by Doge are not the areas where we're really overspending. The overspending is really in the entitlement programs. That's what needs to be reformed, and they haven't. And there's no serious effort to reform those right now.
Okay. Interesting. So, what would you say that he should have cut or didn't, or maybe that he did cut, but that he shouldn't have, but he did?
Well, in terms of the specific agencies, again, like I'm not a foreign affairs expert. I think there are plenty of ways to think, for example, from what I understand, that it's probably a good idea to have USAID as part of the State Department and not as an independent agency. And I think that it's widely agreed upon that it was incredibly dysfunctional. I'm not sure that dismantling it so quickly and stopping some of the good things it was doing was at all a good idea. So I think that I think that some of the areas targeted were okay. Some of them I'm not sure. Social Security, we overspend tremendously on Social Security. And there are far too many benefits going to people who don't need them. Why should Warren Buffett and Donald Trump both get Social Security checks? And both of them presumably do. On one hand, on the other, we could probably do more for the poor than we do right now with the Social Security system. But as a general rule, the Social Security Administration itself is pretty well run. It has admirably low administrative overhead. Going in there and shaking things up, I don't know if that really does any good for anybody. Because the problem is not how it's run; it's the structure of the program.
Are there any policies you would like to see instituted that could change the structure of the program? As you said, maybe if you gave the example of Mr. Trump and Warren Buffett.
Yeah, broadly, I think we should means test the benefits. So in other words, poor people get more benefits, wealthy people get fewer, and probably increase them for the worst off. We should probably change the way that we index the benefits. Right now, they're indexed to wages rather than inflation. And so as wages rise, the benefits rise. Indexing them to inflation, which is standard in the private sector and stuff, is a better way to do it. We should also probably increase what full retirement age is by a year or two. But continue to allow people to get some benefits if they want to retire before that. I think those are some, and I'm not. There are some specific plans that I think have been pretty good. But those are the types of reforms I think we should make to Social Security.
Okay.
And Social Security disability. I think that also needs some changes. But
Alright. Well, that all makes sense. On AI, which is a very hot topic now, you have noted that large language models achieving very high level capabilities mark a new phase in technological advancement. Do you think policies should be instituted that could help navigate AI without stifling innovation, or would regulating AI stifle said innovation no matter what?
Uh, State by state regulation would definitely stifle innovation.
Okay.
If every state were to impose its own specific AI rules,
Mm-hmm.
even if some of those rules were perfectly good and well thought out, just the compliance problems alone of 50 different regimes would definitely be a big barrier to innovation in the U.S. And also allow by default the EU, whoever does write comprehensive regulations, to regulate us rather than us leading the way. So state by state regulation is definitely a bad idea. That's why we've pushed for a moratorium, which has passed the House, on new regulation of AI by the states. Federally, there's definitely a place for regulation. A national preemptive privacy law makes sense. Existing civil rights laws, we should be sure that they apply to AI systems. I think they do, as best as I know, but not a civil rights expert. So if we need to do something to say that, if it's forbidden under current law, you can't use the AI did as an excuse. And there should probably be some form of tort shield, eventually, for people who run AI systems, who run agentic AI systems, because you can't sue the AI itself, you'll sue the creator. Once AI systems are relatively close to having the capacity to form volition, or at least what appears to be volition. Once that happens, it's quite likely that we're going to have cases about this. There's no real good way to resolve it. So we probably need some sort of regime to deal with that problem before it actually comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Although because it would be better to have something like that in place. California, in a bill that wasn't very good, actually proposed such a system. The bill itself was not good, but the concept of the system is one that I personally like.
Okay. That's very interesting. Um. Oh, so now just to wrap up, could I please ask you for some background on you and how your idea shaped, if you would be open to that?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Chicago, went to high school in Connecticut and college at upstate New York. I came to DC originally to work for a non-defunct magazine associated with the Washington Times. I was then at the Heritage Foundation. I was at AEI. I worked as a project manager for the IT company Unisys. I was speechwriter to Senate Majority Leader. I was with a small organization called CEI, and I was with the Heartland Institute. And then I co-founded our space. That's my biography in a nutshell, sort of professionally. I've worked in a variety of places. I grew up mostly on the political left,
Mm-hmm.
and I became a conservative in college. And my views are largely shaped by sort of a classical liberal worldview. And I think that there are things the government must do. But its primary function is to guarantee inalienable rights. And beyond that, there are things that there are market failures and other things that government should deal with. But we should be very careful and make sure that this really is something government needs to do. Because it's not going to be a very efficient way to do it if there is another way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there isn't. There's probably no good way to provide certain types of environmental protection, to provide national defense, without government. So we need government for those things. And there are other things that are probably quite useful to have government do, like support for education and healthcare. But the shape of those and the part of the government's role, the extent to which government plays a role, is something we should look at carefully. It's necessary for government to. It's a very good idea to assure that everybody has an education. Does the government need to directly run as many schools as it does? Maybe not. But assure that everybody gets an education? Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you. And my final question would be, what initiatives or policy areas are you all at R Street planning to tackle next? Is there anything specifically, or?
Right now, we're looking at doing more work on AI, particularly agentic AI, as I think it could be a hot area. We're looking at local journalism a little bit more. I'm hoping to do some more on entitlement reform. And we're looking at a variety of other areas too that are under consideration. So keep tuned.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.